Good morning, girls. How are you? I hope you're okay. Let's start our lesson. Today's lesson is summary versus paraphrase. We will get to know how to differentiate between them and what is the difference between both of them. First, summary. What is a summary? A summary tells the main idea of a piece of a writing. The summary is always shorter than the main text and leaves out details that aren't important to the paper you are writing. You always write a summary in your own words. So, if you're gonna ask me, what does that mean, Miss? I'm gonna tell you that the summary, you just take a brief of the piece that you just read. You may be finished reading a story. You're gonna give me a brief of the main idea of the story that you just read, or you maybe read an article and you just want to give me the main idea of what you just read, okay? And always you just write it with your own words. All the details inside of the article or the story are not important. You just need the main idea. So, why do we usually use summary or summarize? First, it helps us to judge the understanding of individual about the given passage. Perhaps when you finish reading a story, I sometimes ask you to do a summary of it because I want to see if you understood the passage or the story that you read. Just give me the thing that you understood out of the story, okay? Number two, it helps to remember the passage and its important details. When you do this, when you summarize a piece, when you summarize a story or an article, it helps you to remember the important thing about it, okay? Now let's look at the example. Okay, let's look at the original text here. Skipping breakfast might seem like an easy way for dieters to cut calories. However, new research finds that the majority of people who are successful at losing weight and keeping it off eat breakfast every day. Now, this is the piece that you should summarize. It may be a paragraph, it might be a story or whatever. Here we have a paragraph. Now look at the summary. I chose the main idea of the text. The main idea here is to focus that breakfast is important to lose weight. So, research shows that people who wish to lose weight do not skip breakfast. I omit all these details. I kept the important thing here, okay? That research shows that people who want to lose weight, they have to eat breakfast, not skipping it. Now let's move on to paraphrase. Paraphrase is restating in your own words what another person has said or written. In other words, paraphrasing is the ability to write your own version of the essential information without changing the meaning and facts of the original text. A paraphrased sentence is almost as long as the original work, and it certainly has all of the original ideas. Now see, in the summary, we skip all the details. We only focus on the main idea. In the paraphrase, we just retell. We are saying what the other person has already said, but we are using our own words, okay? We don't change anything about the piece that we just read. We just use our own words to rephrase it, okay? And not as the same as the summary. The summary, you want to keep it short, shorter than the original piece that you summarize. And the paraphrase, we usually, when we paraphrase something, we make it as long or almost as long as the original work. Now you're going to tell me, why do we paraphrase? We paraphrase to simplify the author's ideas, making them easier to understand and more approachable. So sometimes you read an article or you read a story or you read something and you feel like it's a bit hard for other people to understand it. So what you do, you actually rewrite it in your own words, but you have to be using the same ideas and the same details, the same facts that the writer wrote about. Okay, you don't change anything about it, but you change the words only. For example, to make it more clear to you, the original text here: the older citizens were honored with a parade for those once in the military. Now, there's like a lot of ways to paraphrase, but the most used one is using synonyms. We use synonyms to paraphrase. You change the words, right? You want to write the same thing that the author already or the writer already wrote, but in your own words. So what would you do? You change it by using synonyms. Like older citizens here, you can change the word older to senior, senior citizens. We're honored with a parade. There is another word for parade. There's a lot of words for parade. We can change parade into a march. For those once in the military, for veterans. Veterans has the same meaning as people who worked in the military. Okay? It's your turn. I want you to paraphrase the two sentences you have. Giraffes like acacia leaves and hay, and they can consume 75 pounds of food a day. Number 2, Willy Wonka was famous for his delicious candy. Children and adults loved to eat it. Now, don't forget, you need to find words that you can find synonyms for to paraphrase. Okay? Thank you, girls. Stay safe and good luck in finishing the sentences. Till we meet again.